Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about Domain A and how I use this in my class. And the specific domain is specific pedagogical skills for subject matter instruction. And so what I did in class was I used what's called News to You, and we were able to relate this to students every day with using News to You, which is an interactive newsletter, and using it on the smartboard. So with News to You, it has current events. So for the month of September, we discussed Constitution Day. And for a lot of our students who cannot read, we also use picture and picture words for the reading. This is where we want to make subject matter instruction comprehensible to the students. And so I think by using this tool enabled us to reach my goal. So what we did is I had my students, first students were seated up here in the front, and then they would come up and I would pick a student and they would come to the board here and read the documentation. It also has an output, a voice output, so it could read while students are following along as well. So by pushing some of these buttons over here, it will play it.
Holiday page.
Spell loud.
Constitution Day, September 17th. Constitution Day is September 17th in the U.S. People call it Citizenship Day too. Constitution Day celebrates U.S. freedom. The Constitution reminds Americans of their responsibilities. The Constitution is the list of rules for the U.S.
And then once it's finished, I would have another student come up, and then I would have them push the next arrow to the next page. And then again, we would go ahead and press play, and then students will read along as the voice output also played. And then we'd go to the next page, okay, and it would go on to page 3 of the story. Okay, and then that would be the story for it. So I think this would help out with students because it has pictures for every word that is displayed. So if they weren't able to read, they can understand by looking at the picture. I would have
Americans.
I would have each student come up and read it, and then after that, we would also have questions to answer to see if they understood what they read. I used this in my class, in my lesson, and I think it was very beneficial that everybody helped and everybody was able to understand it. They were close up front. I used a small group when we did the lesson, and it was held during the month of September for Constitution Day, and I actually did it on that day, so it was very relevant for them to understand what this day was all about. After the lesson, we also did a couple of questions. Pause.